How about this? Did Pac sleep with Faith Evans?
Yes.
Okay. Did Pac sleep with Jada Smith?
With who?
Jada Pinkett.
I wasn't with him during that era of his life, but I'll put it like this: I wouldn't doubt it. He said that Jada
he smashed
like a
pound cake,
like a female him.
He did
that,
pound cake.
I'm gonna stop you right there. So he did. Next question.
So all right,
next question.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Next question.
Did with all the lost files coming up, you know, detectives feeling like they want to go in retirement because of this and all that. People say conspiracy theory. You know, it's because of him talking. They said he wanted to be part of a certain elite group of people. Then he felt like the lifestyle that they was doing, they were trying to take his soul, and he wanted his soul back. So people felt like he had to go because he knew a little bit too much. Do you feel that Suge Knight set him up?
That's a really good question. It's a very interesting question. Also, I'm gonna put it to you like this.
Put it to me how it's supposed to be.
I listen really, really careful to this. I make no.
Hello?
Okay, here you go. In 1996, the way I felt and what I thought about that whole thing with Suge Knight and the whole situation concerning Tupac and Suge Knight was completely different, because I couldn't understand how anyone would sit in a car with someone that they would put a hit on and trust that they wouldn't get shot when bullets was flying all through their car. I said it in Before I Wake, which plays on Fuse TV, and I said it in Got Your Back. You can find it at www.frank-alexander.com or amazon.com.
So is that a yes or a no?
Now, no, this you got to hear this. The thing about that is that was 1996. In 2001, Rolling Stone magazine came out with the Rampart investigation through LAPD. And when that came out, I read that article. I have that article. The whole Rolling Stone magazine was about this crooked LAPD cop story of how Biggie got killed and how Pac got killed. And then it named one of the bodyguards who was with me, that was my relief bodyguard for Tupac, named Kevin Hackey. And I can say this because his name is out there like that. And we did a documentary, and he came out and said that he was an FBI informant, and he was there to infiltrate death row for drug racketeering. Now, all along, when we were working together, I never knew that. No one never knew that. But the Rolling Stone magazine announced it. So Kevin sued him over it because they exposed him. All right?
Oh, wow.
So after I read that article, and then I started seeing all these LAPD cops that was from the magazine, they had them in there, pictures of them dressed in red suits. Then I started thinking differently, right? Then I started seeing different things about how a different theory and a different conspiracy could have happened. Who am I going to trust to sit next to me, or trust to fire into my car if I would have set it up, would be another police officer, someone that is well trained with using a weapon. I have 2 documentaries that go into that, and it's Tupac Assassination, Conspiracy, Revenge, and Reckoning. And I talk about those theories, and I talk about that. And my whole thought process completely changed from 1996 to 2001 after I read that article. Then I started digging and digging and digging and looking for dirt. When I started kicking rocks and rocks started turning over, my partner and I, we started finding dirt. And then other things started coming up. So my whole theory on Tupac's murder did a 360.
So let me ask you this last question.
Absolutely, to answer your question, absolutely. Somebody set him up. Now, the conclusion recently, within the last week or two, the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, the FBI released a 349-page document saying that in their findings that Suge Knight and Reggie Wright orchestrated and put a hit on Both of them, Notorious B.I.G. and Tupac Shakur. That was the FBI's findings after they released their findings and decided to close the case on that murder investigation for them too. Now, that's what they wanted to do. The FBI did that. And the only reason why they can't bring anyone to trial is because they had 17 informants, and all of them said no, they wouldn't testify. So if you don't have no one to testify to the facts, you don't have a case, and the DA is not going to take it. So LAPD, being Biggie's jurisdiction of where he was murdered at, and then Las Vegas being Tupac's jurisdiction where he was murdered at, they're cold case files, and it's going to take somebody to have to solve them. Do I believe that the person that pulled the trigger on both of them are dead? I would say Tupac's killer for sure is dead. The other one, I can't say as far as Biggie goes. I believe Tupac's killer is dead, though. But I believe this. It was definitely set up.
No,
both of them. It was set up.
Based on your rock uncovering and flipping over, do you or did you see or were you leading to the fact that Suge had something to do with it?
And Puffy.
Now you say and Puffy. I don't know. Here's the truth. Okay, John 8:32, the truth shall set you free. I don't know absolutely one thing surrounding Biggie's death. I cannot answer not one question surrounding Biggie's death for two reasons. One, I was no longer working with Death Row in the security company. I was long gone. By the time Biggie was killed, I was unemployed, writing my book or whatever I was doing. So I cannot answer anything concerning Biggie, Puffy, because I don't know nothing concerning Puffy. Being P. Diddy now. I believe that someone out of Death Row's camp knows who set up Tupac's hit, is what I believe.
Based on your rock uncovering and where you were leading and things you were seeing, do you believe that Suge had something to do with that?
What I believed in 1996,
yes or no?
What I believe today, I would more or less point my finger to yes than no. And that being because we interviewed witnesses and people that testified on camera in my documentaries, that Suge Knight and Tupac had a vicious fight in New York at the MTV Awards. And Tupac told one of the bodyguards, after he was finished with a video shoot, they were walking him to the airplane, he told this bodyguard, who's a real good friend of mine to this day, he said, I'm a dead man walking. And he said, Pac, why would you say something like that? He said, because I don't want to go to Vegas, and I got a bad feeling about it. And that was September 6th. It was a Friday because they had just finished shooting Toss It Up.
That's when the Moo Records, I think, was starting out.
Who was
He wanted to leave.
Who was the big enticer for him to go to Vegas?
Well, here's the other thing. Everything, you guys are really good because everything that you're asking me, all these questions are in my book.
Why, thank you. We just saw the radio yesterday.
Tupac had some family matters that was going on in Atlanta, and he really didn't want to go to Vegas. He really wanted to go to Atlanta to deal with the problems that was going on with his first cousin, which was one of the outlaws. And this is in my movie, Tupac Assassination Reckoning. It's in that movie. And it's not even that I'm telling it. His family, Tupac's family, is telling that whole story. And he did not want to go to Vegas. He was not going to Vegas. And he had his mind changed and persuaded to go.
By who?
By who?
By Suge.
Does that have anything to do with him wanting to leave Death Row and start Amuru Records?
When we were on Gridlock and all of that, they had already called an audit on Death Row. We were working on a set of Gridlock, and Yak Fula's mother was one of Tupac's assistants, and she came down to the set specifically to talk to myself and Kevin Hackey to tell us that there were some things going on, there were some changes going on, and they was no longer going to be working with Death Row, that they were doing an audit on Death Row because Pac wasn't getting all his money, and there was some problems. And